Right, boys, we're back, and first of all, I want to apologize for lack of uploads. I think I missed 2 or 3 days now, but I think we're getting better consistently. We're uploading every single day, but I do want to apologize for that. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. In today's video, I kind of want to talk about the war that every Christian man goes through, and it is dealing with lust, laziness, and lack of purpose. The 3 L's, bro. And trust me, you don't want to be an L. I'm joking. But no, every single young man, Christian man, or any man for that matter, but these videos are specifically targeted to people who want to grow in their walk with Christ, right? But every Christian man, they struggle with lust, laziness, and lack of purpose. Okay, and all of those things intertwine. Okay, let's think about it for a second, because I've struggled with all three, and I know you guys have. Okay, so for example, if I'm struggling with lust currently, I'm also going to be struggling with laziness and lack of purpose, because when you lust, when you have those wandering eyes, or you're doing this motion in your bed, right? And heaven forbid, or God forbid, sorry, that you release this, you know it best. You don't want to do anything after that. Okay, you don't. You feel lazy, and guess what? That laziness is then going to intertwine with your lack of purpose. Okay, you're not going to work on your purpose. You're going to be all confused. You're all going to be all shifted, everything like that. Just kind of how like the camera shifted, right? Because when you're delving into lust, your mind plays tricks on you. Okay, your mind plays tricks on you. You don't know what you want, and now you're confused. Okay, that's number one. As for laziness, okay, laziness stems from a lack of purpose. Okay, because if you had purpose in your life, you would be doing every single action you can take to forward the result in your purpose. Okay, so say for example, my purpose was to be a basketball player. I'm not going to become a basketball player sitting around in my bed all day, TikTok, Netflix, all those things. Sorry, my dogs are outside and I'm watching them, right? I'm going to do every action it takes to allow me to become a basketball player. Um, whether that be shooting hoops, lifting weights, cardio, whatever that takes, right? You can't have purpose and be lazy. They don't intertwine with each other. And then finally, if you're suffering from a lack of purpose, right, you're most likely having lustful thoughts, or you're most likely being lazy. You're not taking action. You might know what your purpose is, right, but you're being lazy about it. Okay, so we kind of see how all of those intertwine, and every man deals with it. Okay, every single man, whether you're Christian or not, deals with it. Okay, there have been periods in my life where I've been lustful, and then laziness and lack of purpose follows. But let me tell you something. As soon as I found my purpose and started to take it seriously, started to take my walk with Christ seriously. So my purpose, for those of you who don't know, at least, and you'll never know your true purpose in life. You'll have a direct thing. You'll have a feeling, all right? You'll have a gut feeling, but your path will always illuminate. Okay, my purpose was always to be a YouTuber, right? I didn't know I was going to be talking about Christ-focused self-improvement. I didn't know I was going to be helping young men and young women grow in their walk with Christ. Okay, and if you are interested in that, my Instagram is Christoph_Langen_. I'm doing one-on-one calls. But I didn't know that was going to be my purpose, but I knew something wasn't in YouTube. Okay, but when I started to take my purpose more seriously, when I started to lock in on my walk with Christ, God, illuminated that path for me. He illuminated that path, and He showed me, okay, this is the type of content I want you to film. This is the type of content that, I've put you on this earth for. Okay, and that was Christ-focused self-improvement content. And as soon as I started doing that, yeah, we had some weeks where I was lazy about it, all that. But as soon as I started to lock in and grow closer to God, that lustful habit, those lustful habits, they went away. Okay, they went away. Now, yes, they are still there. Sometimes I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I'm some monk, I'm some holy person that's doing this every single day, right? No. There are still times where I indulge and go meet up with a girl I shouldn't be. Or, I look lustfully at a girl in the gym, or, I do this motion. Okay, there are still times when I do that. But for the most part, it's gotten really better. It's gotten a lot better, not really better. I don't even know if that's the term, right? But it's gotten a lot better. And know why? Because I'm putting all my action, all my energy into this YouTube channel, into my business. Okay, I don't talk about my business much, but I'm putting that into those two things. Okay, because my business, I'm only working on that to fund this YouTube channel, to get better quality, get better tools, editing, all that sort of thing. But uh, my my energy goes into this, and that will happen to you when you discover your purpose, when you find your purpose. Okay, when you truly have something that you're working after, getting after every single day, whether that be, moving up the career ranks in your work, growing in your walk with Christ, pursuing a sport, trying to better yourself, become more educated, getting your money up, whatever that case may be, getting that dream job. You're not going to want to be lazy anymore. Okay, you're going to want to put your action into developing your purpose. Same with lustfulness. Okay, you're not going to want to spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours every day gooning, or going on pointless dates with girls who that they're not going to be your future wife. You don't want to be around them. Okay, if you have a good girl at home, yes, don't get me wrong, praise her, be thankful for her, because I know every man wants that at the end of the day. But for the most part, when you start locking in on your business, if you don't have a girl, or not business, when you start locking in on your purpose and you don't have a girl, trust me, yeah, there'll be times where you wanna, you know, get those urges, you get those urges, but for the most part, bro, genuinely, you're going to be wanting to put every single amount of energy you have into your purpose, especially after you get that first one. Because yeah, I knew my purpose was to be growing my YouTube, talking about Christ focused self improvement, helping people grow in their walk with Christ. But it's hard at first. It's genuinely hard at first, because I have like 400, 500 something videos on my channel, and I only have 200 subs, and I'm not sitting here complaining. I'm very thankful for that. But it's hard. All right, it's hard coming here, making videos every day, putting my time, putting my effort into it, studying, growing in my walk with Christ, and not getting rewarded for it. Because I wouldn't say, like, I have 400 videos, right? I have 200 subs. I don't have a lot of views. I didn't have any testimonies. No one was booking calls with me. These long form videos, 10, 20 minutes to get 0 to 10 views, bro. It's not worth it. But trust me, after you get that first win, it's going to be like a sugar high. Okay, you're going to be sugar high. You're going to want it even more. Okay, same with like starting a business or anything. It sucks at first. I probably had about two to 300 no's in my business now, and I started a bunch of ventures before that failed, and it sucks. Every single day sucks, man. You're just getting told no, no, no. You're scared. All this. You're facing all these, voices in your head, everything like that. But as soon as you get that first win, man, um, you're not gonna want to stop. Okay, so how would I go about winning in this war? Well, I would do whatever it takes to find my purpose. Okay, I believe I have videos on my YouTube channel helping you find your purpose. Okay, I can't sit here and tell you, okay, John Smith, you're supposed to be, a lumberjack. You're gonna be a collegiate lumberjack. Okay, I can't tell you that. All right, I just can't. But, you know, I have methods. There's videos on my YouTube, but I would recommend deep diving, growing in your walk with Christ, asking Him to show you the way, and being silent, growing near to Him, like getting off your phone, spending time with Him, thinking about what you want to do with the rest of your life. What would you do if money wasn't an option? What would you do? What genuinely makes you feel good? What talents do you have that you actually like and enjoy about yourself? That's what I would recommend in helping find your purpose. That's the short answer, right? There's a ton of videos on YouTube. I have videos on YouTube. There's a ton of books, and it's in the Bible, right? But the best way I would go about it is just drawing near to God, and then drawing near to people who are close to God. Okay, whether that be mentors, whether that be, people in the church. And the way you find mentors essentially is you get one online, like myself, or, you go to someone you highly respect in your church, and you say, hey, I respect what you do. Can I take you out for coffee sometime? And you take them out to coffee, and then you just hammer them with questions, man. Pick their brains, see what works for them, what didn't, what their struggles were, everything. Okay, personally, I didn't have the courage for that. Okay, and it actually resulted in me taking 3 years to grow in this walk with Christ. 3 years it took me to grow to where I am today, when it ultimately could have took me 6 months. That's why I actually started my 6-week mentorship program, helping you grow in your walk with Christ, just because I want you guys to accomplish these things faster. Like, life is never promised. Okay, life is genuinely never promised. You never know what tomorrow will bring. It's talked about a lot in the Bible, how, like, do the hard work today because you don't know what tomorrow is going to entail. Okay, that's why I started the 6-week mentorship, to help people grow in their walk with Christ quicker, get them on the path, and, just feel better about themselves, right? But number one, I would find my purpose, because that's it, baby. Find my purpose and then get that first one immediately. That's how I would start the war, because after you get that first win, you're not going to want to be lazy. You're going to go after it every single day. You're not going to want to be lustful anymore as well. You're going to go after it every single day. And, that's how you win. That's how you win the war. And that's all I got for today, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. God bless. I'm praying for each and every single one of you. All glory to God.